Hello there, my little seventh graders. Let's get on this. All right, hopefully y'all can see. Oh gosh, let's get rid of that. There we go. Okay, so let me get adjusted here. We are starting our virtual learning. This is the first thing you guys will see, okay? This is the second actual assignment you're supposed to be doing. The first assignment I have for you guys is the virtual learning assignment where you just read over that document. And then the Zoom Zone rules, it establishes what kind of rules we have going into doing a bunch of Zooms, okay? So you need to make sure you read both of those documents and then sign that little thing that I've attached to it. I will be taking that for a grade, okay? So make sure you do that. All right. Now we're just going to go ahead and dive right into our lesson for today, okay? This is a new thing. We haven't used this before. This is called Screencastify, okay? I'm going to publish this video to YouTube, all my little YouTubers out there. I'm publishing it to YouTube. Like and subscribe. Isn't that what they all say? Jeremiah, he likes that. Like and subscribe. So, anyways, this video is going to be on my YouTube channel. This is the only video on there right now that you need to watch. Other videos will be coming a little later. But I really like the Screencastify thing, so we're gonna get with it. All right. You can see my mouse on here. You should be able to. So we're talking about the early Middle Ages. This is chapter 2, lesson 1. Let me just say this too before we get too far into it. After you watch this video, there will be a question that you have to answer to get credit for watching this video. Okay, so that will also be a grade, small little 5-point grade, but I want you to do your best on it. Okay. It'll be a question just under this. It'll be in a Google form. You just have to make sure you submit it. So that's 2 things that you have to submit on January 6th, which is a Wednesday. And that's the virtual learning and the Zoom Zone rules. There will be something to submit for that. And then the early Middle Ages PowerPoint question. Okay, there will be something to submit for that. So please make sure you take note of that. Do not fall behind because you didn't know about that stuff. Okay. Also, any questions, anytime, my email is Jenna, JENNA, .graves, GRAVES, at sumnerschools.org. Okay. Anytime you need me, guys, I'm here. All right. Let's get started. So the early Middle Ages. So before we left, before we went to Christmas break, and now we're on all this virtual stuff, we touched on Emperor Charlemagne. I think y'all remember that. One of my classes in particular, because we were in hybrid. But the other class may not remember too much about it. Miss Reed was in there with us that day. She was helping us kind of go along over this and stuff. The Emperor Charlemagne. So we're completely switching gears, right? We've completely switched gears. We were talking about Japan, China, all of those territories. Now we're going into Europe, okay? And we're talking about one of the greatest emperors ever, the Emperor Charlemagne, okay? Known as Charles the Great, okay? He was Charles the Great. He became king of the Franks after his father Pepin died in 768. Now, if I think he was called Pepin the Short. I'm not too sure about that, but I'm pretty sure that's what he was called, Pepin the Short. Um, Charlemagne was just known for his great, expansive empire. He went all over the place, conquered so many territories. And his main really goal that he had was to transform all these territories and all these places that he had just conquered to the religion of Christianity. Okay, he felt the king. Y'all see that right there? Oh gosh. There. Whoops. Sorry, guys. I'm learning virtual too. He felt that the king was responsible for the spiritual well-being of his people, okay? So he thought that if my people don't come to God under the religion of Christianity, while I'm king, that's my fault, right? So he did everything in his power to make sure that all of these territories that he had conquered, all of these people knew Jesus and knew the religion of Christianity, right? To do this and to make sure this really happened, he gave money to the church and he had religious reforms. We know what a reform is, right? Because that's something we talked about before we left, okay? A reform is just a change to make things better, okay? So he gave money to the church, the Christian church, right? And he had religious reforms. His kingdom included mostly present-day Germany, France, northern Spain, and most of Italy. Do you guys realize how big that is? I even showed you guys a map closer to the beginning of the year, whenever we were just kind of looking at maps, trying to figure out the world. Kind of talking about this empire, okay? It's huge, absolutely expansive. And there was seas connected to all sides. This was a perfect spot for a religious, good kingdom to flourish, okay? So the kingdom became an empire, and its citizens in Europe were under one government for the first time since the Roman Empire, back at the break in the between BCE and AD, right, or CE, okay? Back at that break with the Roman Empire, okay? I wish you could see that. I don't know why you can't see it down there. I can't even see it. There we go. He was given. Aha, there we go. I can move that. There we go. Perfect. Charles the Great. Okay, I don't know if y'all can see it, but I just know that's what it says. He was given the name Charlemagne, which means Charles the Great. Okay, let's see if I can get over. There we go. Emperor Charlemagne. Biggest name ever, right? One of the biggest names in history. In the year 1800 or 800, 800 CE, Charlemagne was in Rome and he defended the Pope against unruly Roman nobles. On Christmas Day, Charlemagne was worshiping at St. Peter's Church, and after the service, the Pope placed a crown on his head and declared him Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. This is essential. You have to know this. The Holy Roman Empire. Not really that Charlemagne needed the Pope's approval to become the emperor, because he had basically already named himself emperor, but this was just kind of for, y'all know what clout means, right? This was kind of for the clout at the time. He didn't really need anybody to tell him he was emperor, but for the Pope to say, you are the emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, that changed things, okay? Emperor Charlemagne. His empire had a small central government, okay? So you can think of it like this. Here's the government, all these little places inside, right? It was kind of small. It was not very big, okay? Charlemagne relied on all the local officials inside. They were called counts to help govern, okay? My one class knows all about this. I showed you all that chart, and I will have that chart in our Zoom session on Thursday. I showed y'all a pyramid chart, right? And that showed all of the nobility, right, in steps by steps, okay? Charlemagne relied on local officials called counts to help govern. So instead of him having to govern every little bitty city, he had these counts to kind of be like that, okay? They ran local affairs and they raised armies. I wonder if I can move this too. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Charlemagne established schools for children of government officials to learn. Um, Allegedly, Charlemagne couldn't read or write himself, okay? So he thought knowledge is power, okay? And he wanted all of these people that it was in his empire, especially the more prominent nobility, to be able to have this great knowledgeable skill to read and write, okay? All right. Now we have waves of invaders. This is a huge thing, okay? After Charlemagne's death and his son Louis's death, the kingdom was split into three kingdoms. The kingdoms were weakened by outside attacks. Muslims, the Muslim religion, we've already talked about that, right? With the Islam, they believed in Islam, right? Muslims from North Africa raided France and Italy. Okay, so that's two. If I can get it in my screen, that's two. The Magyars, I know I'm not pronouncing that right, but the Magyars from Hungary invaded eastern France and Italy. That's two more. Okay. Vikings. The Vikings came from their homeland of Scandinavia. They came from their homeland of Scandinavia, and they were known as Norsemen. Let's move this up so you guys can read this pretty good. Actually, I think I can move this too, maybe. Oh, I don't know if I can move that. Oh, I don't know. We just won't touch it. Okay. Known as Norsemen, they lived in fjords, okay? Narrow inlets to the sea. I know there's a certain way you pronounce that in the book. It tells you, but I probably just butchered it. But that's what it is. Narrow inlets that go to the sea, right? And they were great at sea travel, these Norsemen were. They knew what they were doing. Great at sea travel. They depended on the sea for food and trade since they didn't have very much farmland, okay? They attacked villages and churches, seizing grain, animals, and other valuable items, and burned what they could not steal. Wonder why they would burn what they couldn't steal. Anybody have any ideas? Well, because the things they could steal that they thought were valuable, they would obviously take with them, but everything else they would burn. So that obviously means that they had conquered that territory. They had basically demolished that territory. Okay. Vikings were also explorers and traveled to North America, Greenland, Iceland, northern France. And I can't read those bottom two because I have something in front of it. But basically, that's the gist, right? And then we have the formation of the Holy Roman Empire, and that's where we're going to stop for today. We're going to cover all this stuff of the formation of the Holy Roman Empire in our Zoom that will be tomorrow, January 7th. Okay. Also, I wanted to make sure you guys know that we will be Zooming at regular class time. Okay. I think you guys come in at like 8:30 and leave at 9:11. That's our Zoom time. Okay. I will post all of that stuff. If it's not already posted, it'll probably already be posted. Make sure you're checking all the dates and stuff. Okay. Do not forget to do the 2 assignments that you have for the virtual learning and the Zoom zone rules, along with the question that I'm giving you here. Okay. All right, guys. I hope you liked that. I will see you tomorrow for our Zoom. Now I gotta figure out how to get off this thing.